Good evening and welcome to NYC Tonight. We kick off our broadcast with the story that got everyone talking across the 5 boroughs, the transition of Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani, and the city's reaction to his very ambitious progressive agenda. We're also tracking major developments in local safety and the economy that will affect all of us. The political spotlight is laser-focused on Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani as he assembles the team that will lead New York City into a new era. Mamdani is set to be the city's youngest mayor in generations, and in a significant move, he's just tapped Dean Fuleihan, a veteran budget and policy official, as his first deputy mayor. This appointment is widely seen as an attempt to bring a steady hand and some institutional gravitas to his administration. It seems like a strategic play, especially as skepticism grows over the financial feasibility of his transformative proposals. We're talking about huge ideas like universal free childcare and dramatically expanded rent control. And the big question on everyone's mind is, how will the city pay for it? But this transition is definitely not a smooth ride. The mayor-elect's plans are already creating serious friction in several key sectors. Take the New York Police Department, for instance. The NYPD is currently seeing a noticeable surge in officer departures. Recent reports show resignations are up by a staggering 35% compared to this time last year. When you ask officers why they're leaving, many point to low morale and deep concern over Mamdani's proposed reforms. These include shifting final disciplinary power from the commissioner to the Civilian Complaint Review Board and creating an entirely new department of community safety. This growing exodus of officers presents a massive challenge for the incoming administration as it prepares to oversee the country's largest police force. It is a balancing act. How do you reform policing while also ensuring the city stays safe? Now let's turn to the business community. Mamdani's agenda is getting a decidedly mixed reception there. On one hand, small business owners, especially in the outer boroughs, are cautiously optimistic about his promises to slash bureaucratic red tape and provide more support for local entrepreneurs. They're hoping for a change from policies they felt favored large corporations. However, on Wall Street and in the powerful real estate sector, the mood is much more apprehensive. Leaders in these industries are worried that his proposed wealth taxes and stricter regulations on development could drive investment out of the city. They're warning that this could stifle economic growth at a time when New York is still recovering. The Real Estate Board of New York has already signaled its intent to legally challenge any attempts at expanding rent control, setting the stage for a major battle. Meanwhile, a story that's gaining traction is the surprising increase in public transit ridership. MTA data reveals that subway and bus usage has climbed by nearly 12% in the last quarter. This is a fascinating development, especially since many office workers are still on hybrid schedules. Analysts are pointing to a few factors. First, rising gas prices and traffic congestion are making driving less appealing. Second, there's a growing return to the city vibe. More people are coming back for entertainment, dining, and cultural events, and they're using public transit to get there. Mayor-elect Mamdani has seized on this positive trend, reaffirming his commitment to the Fair Fares program, which offers discounted Metro cards to low-income New Yorkers, and has even floated the idea of pilot programs for fare-free bus routes in underserved communities. This could be a huge win for his administration if they can build on this momentum. On the environmental front, a critical piece of legislation is moving through the City Council. The Clean Air for All bill aims to accelerate the city's timeline for converting its entire municipal vehicle fleet, including sanitation trucks and city buses, to all-electric models. The goal is to get this done by 2035, 5 years ahead of the original schedule. Environmental groups are hailing this as a necessary and bold step to combat climate change and improve air quality, particularly in neighborhoods that have historically borne the brunt of pollution. However, the plan faces logistical hurdles. The cost of replacing thousands of vehicles and building out the required charging infrastructure is enormous. Critics are asking if the technology is even ready for such a massive, rapid scale-up. They worry about the reliability of electric heavy-duty vehicles, especially during extreme weather events. The debate over this bill is really a debate about the future of New York's streets. In the world of education, Chancellor David C. Banks recently announced a new initiative focused on career and technical education. The Future Ready NYC program aims to create direct pipelines for high school students into high-demand industries like tech, healthcare, and green energy. The plan involves partnering with major companies and trade unions to offer apprenticeships and specialized training, giving students real-world experience and a clear path to a good-paying job right after graduation. This has been met with widespread praise from parents and educators who have long argued that the school system needs to provide more practical, career-focused options alongside the traditional college prep track. It's a move to ensure that our public schools are preparing students for the economy of tomorrow, not the economy of yesterday. Let's shift gears to housing, which is always the #1 issue for so many New Yorkers. The city's affordable housing lottery system is undergoing a major overhaul. For years, people have complained that the system is confusing, difficult to navigate, and feels more like a game of chance than a real solution. The Department of Housing Preservation and Development is now launching a new, streamlined online portal. It promises to simplify the application process and use an algorithm to better match applicants with available units that fit their income and family size. While this is a welcome technological upgrade, housing advocates are quick to point out that it doesn't solve the fundamental problem. There just aren't enough affordable apartments to meet the overwhelming demand. They argue that without a massive increase in housing construction, any changes to the lottery system are just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. And finally, in a bit of lighter, more positive news, the iconic Central Park Carousel is set to reopen next month after extensive restoration work. The carousel, which has been a beloved fixture in the park for over a century, was closed for nearly 2 years for repairs to its hand-carved horses and its famous Wurlitzer organ. The Central Park Conservancy has announced a grand reopening celebration, complete with free rides for the first weekend. It's a wonderful symbol of the city's resilience and a reminder of the simple joys that make New York so special. For generations of New Yorkers, the carousel holds a special place in their hearts, and its return is a sign that a little bit of magic is coming back to the heart of the city. It's a small story, but one that will surely bring a smile to many faces. So, as we look at the week ahead, it's clear that New York City is at a major crossroads. The transition of Mayor-elect Mamdani is forcing a citywide conversation about our priorities. What kind of city do we want to be? How do we balance progressive reform with fiscal stability? How do we ensure safety and justice for all? These are the questions that will define the next 4 years. From the halls of City Hall to the platforms of the subway, big changes are underway. We'll be here every step of the way, covering the stories that matter to you. Thank you for joining us for NYC Tonight. We appreciate you spending your time with us. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on what's happening in our great city. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.